Treatments. Here is a story factual about boron and health. Those of us who follow what is happening in the alternative/complementary world are well aware that if a substance is natural, then it cannot be patented by pharmaceutical companies, who work to serve their financial backers and shareholders. If it cannot be patented, then Big Pharma will not invest time, energy and money in investigating and manufacturing something that any other Tom, Dick or Mary, other company, can also do. After all, the pharmaceutical company wants to hold the patent and make the money. Even if a natural product really does hold promise of curing an ailment, Big Pharma would rather you spent your money, or the government's money, on their chemical compound on which they hold the patent. You would challenge them if your natural product worked as well as their expensive drugs, or even better than their expensive drugs without the side effects. Meet Rex Newman. In the 1960s, Rex Newnham, Ph.D., D.O., and D., developed arthritis. At that time he was a soil and plant scientist in Perth, Western Australia. Conventional drugs did not help, so he looked for the cause into the chemistry of plants. He realized that plants in that area were rather mineral deficient. Knowing that boron aids calcium metabolism in plants, he decided to try it. He started taking 30 mg of borax a day, and in 3 weeks all pain, swelling and stiffness had disappeared. He told public health and medical school authorities about his discovery, but they were not interested. However, some people with arthritis were delighted as they improved. Others were scared to take something with a poison label on the container and meant to kill cockroaches and ants. Eventually he had tablets made with a safe and effective quantity of borax. Within 5 years, and only by word of mouth, he sold 10,000 bottles a month. He could no longer cope and asked a drug company to market it. That was a major mistake. They indicated that this would replace more expensive drugs and reduce their profits. It so happened that they had representatives on government health committees and arranged that in 1981 Australia instituted a regulation that declared boron and its compounds to be poisons in any concentration. He was fined $1,000 for selling a poison, and this successfully stopped his arthritis cure from spreading in Australia. 2. Subsequently he published several scientific papers on borax and arthritis. One was a double-blind trial in the mid-1980s at the Royal Melbourne Hospital, which showed that 70% of those who completed the trial were greatly improved. Only 12% improved when on placebo. There were no negative side effects, but some reported that their heart ailment had also improved, and there was better general health and less tiredness. 3. Most of his later research was devoted to the relationship between soil boron levels and arthritis. He found, for instance, that the traditional sugarcane islands, due to long-term heavy use of fertilizers, have very low soil boron levels. Jamaica has the lowest level and arthritis rates are about 70%. He noted that even most dogs were limping. Next comes Mauritius with very low boron levels and 50% arthritis. The daily boron intake in these countries is less than 1 mg/day. An interesting comparison is between Indian and native Fijians. The Indians are estimated to have an arthritis rate of about 40% and eat much rice grown with fertilizer, while the native Fijians, with an estimated arthritis rate of 10%, eat mainly starchy root vegetables grown privately without fertilizer. The US, England, Australia and New Zealand generally have average soil boron levels with an estimated intake of 1 to 2 mg of boron and arthritis rates of about 20%. But Carnarvon in Western Australia has high boron levels in soil and water, and the arthritis rate is only 1%. It is similar in a place called Ngaha Springs in New Zealand with very high boron levels in the spa water, which is curative for arthritis. Actually, all spas reputedly curing arthritis have very high boron levels. These are also high in Israel with an estimated daily boron intake of 5 to 8 mg and only 0.51% arthritis. Bone analysis showed that arthritic joints and nearby bones had only half the boron content of healthy joints. Equally, synovial fluid that lubricates joints and provides nutrients to the cartilage is boron deficient in arthritic joints. After boron supplementation, bones were much harder than normal and surgeons found them more difficult to saw through. With additional boron, bone fractures heal in about half the normal time in both man and animal. Horses and dogs with broken legs, or even a broken pelvis, have fully recovered. Borax is also effective with other forms of arthritis, such as rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile arthritis, and lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus. For instance, Dr. Newnham saw a young girl aged 9 months with juvenile arthritis. He was able to cure her in 2 weeks. He wrote that commonly people can get rid of their pain, swelling and stiffness in about 1 to 3 months. Then they can reduce treatment from 3 to 1 boron tablet, each 3 mg, per day as a maintenance dose so that they can avoid any future arthritis. He also stated that patients with rheumatoid arthritis commonly experience the Herkimer reaction and that this is always a good prognostic sign. They must persevere, and in another 2 or 3 weeks the pain, swelling and stiffness will be gone. 4. 5. Ted has something to say as well and goes into some details about why and how borax works for so many different types of fungus, mycoplasma found in lupus, rosacea, dog mange, interstitial cystitis, plasmodium parasites, Morgellons disease, or even pneumonia. I think borax medicine is one of the medicines most ignored, misinformed, or even suppressed in our present society. The authorities have done it so well that very few know that the toxicity of borax is about equal to that of simple table salt. Chris Gupta from Share the Wealth, I consider the site a valuable one for information on complementary methods to staying healthy, also has much to say in the way of positive things about borax. If you are over 50, consider taking boron, 30 to 90 mg borax. Neuropath Rex Newnham cured himself and hundreds people of arthritis with this much neglected nutrient. In a double-blind trial comparing 6 mg/d of boron with placebo in the treatment of arthritis, of the 10 patients on boron, 5 improved while only 1 of 10 in the placebo group improved. The boron had significant benefit in severe osteoarthritis. The 6 mg of boron was in 2 tablets containing 25 mg of borax, sodium tetraborate decahydrate. The experiment was carried over an 8-week period. There were no side effects noted. Boron and arthritis, the results of a double-blind pilot study, Travers, Richard L. MD, et al., Journal of Nutritional Medicine, 1990, 127, 132. Address, Rex E. Newnham, Ph.D., Crickow House Cottage, Crickock near Skipton, North Yorkshire 5023 6LB, United Kingdom, osteoarthritis and boron 6 mg/d of boron, 2 tablets of 25 mg borax sodium tetraborate decahydrate, was evaluated in 10 patients with radiographically proven osteoarthritis while 10 patients received placebos. Out of the 10 patients taking boron, 5 improved while only 1 improved in the placebo group. There were no apparent side effects, and the author suggests this limited trial should encourage further investigation. Clinical Trial Boron on Arthritis, Travers, Richard L. Townsend. Letter for Doctors, June 19903602-362. Address, Dr. Richard L. Travers, Department of Medicine, Royal Melbourne Hospital, Parkville 3050, Australia. Current research points to borons being the equivalent of a biochemical helper in bone health, rather than a front-line soldier. But scientists also cite evidence that boron somehow prevents calcium from being excreted, plays a part in the correct balance of other minerals, and helps the body to avoid osteoporosis in the first place. It certainly seems to be central to the biochemical equation. Boron may also have a role in another debilitating bone condition, arthritis. Arthritis is almost unknown in Israel, where levels of boron in the soil and therefore in foods are high. In Jamaica, however, it's the reverse situation. Boron levels are low and arthritis rates are correspondingly high. That boron may have a role in the prevention or modification of arthritis is supported by research done with arthritis-susceptible rats by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. From this research, USDA scientists hypothesize that boron may modulate the immune system and protect against inflammatory disease. However, much work must be done before scientists can say that boron can help reduce the human suffering caused by arthritis. I guess I have given us all some more thinking to do on this magic mineral, and I do hope the information will be beneficial to you in your search for more natural ways to regain good health. I also suggest you read the magnesium blog as it all ties in together. Till next time. Cheers from Just Main Boron, a magical essential mineral, part 3 of all the articles I have posted in the health area. I think this topic boron has attracted the most attention. It has been up and available for quite some time now, and, as does happen from time to time, when sharing information from other sites, links no longer work, or are taken down by their owners. Boron, the marker of a healthy diet. Plants get the boron they need from soil and water. In fact, they can't live without it. For humans, experts agree that boron is nutritionally important, and mounting evidence suggests that boron may be an essential element to our diet as well. The physiological effects of dietary boron worth reading. Research paper, abstract, boron may be an essential nutrient for animals and humans. Dietary boron influences the activity of many metabolic enzymes, as well as the metabolism of steroid hormones and several micronutrients, including calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. Boron supplementation in rats and chicks has been shown to increase bone strength. Boron may also play a role in improving arthritis, plasmolipid profiles, and brain function. Additional research is necessary to further clarify boron's influence in human and animal physiology, as well as determine a dietary requirement for humans. In the green, update on boron's role as an essential plant micronutrient. The roots of civilization. Animals and vegetables are alike in at least one important way: they both need minerals to survive. People didn't know about mineral nutrients when they first started growing crops more than 10,000 years ago. But they did know that planting seeds and harvesting crops raised their own survival rates. With the advent of agriculture, the roots of civilization took hold. Figuring out what nutrients plants need to thrive has concerned us ever since. When we knew of only 4 elements, it was pretty clear that plants needed 3 of them: earth, water, and air to grow. With better science, the list grew longer. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium were identified as primary nutrients, and, on the second tier, sulfur, magnesium, and calcium. But it has only been in the last 75 years that scientists and farmers discovered another section in agriculture's intricate chemical orchestra. Key to producing full-volume crop yields are 7 micronutrients: boron, copper, chlorine, iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. The fruits of knowledge. These 7 elements are the unsung heroes of the plant world. Only trace amounts are needed, so we don't hear about them often. They perform at the cellular level, so we don't see them work. Nevertheless, they have an enormous impact on plants and thus everybody else on the planet's survival. Picture the world without even one of them. Boron. Boron is integral to a plant's reproductive cycle, controlling flowering, pollen production, germination, and seed and fruit development. The mineral also acts as a fuel pump, aiding the transmission of sugars from older leaves to new growth areas and root systems. Fields of cotton, canola, clover, and corn produce higher crop yields with boron supplements. Farmers get up to 13 bushels more soybeans per acre. In fact, boron makes almost every fruit, nut, and vegetable crop healthier and more marketable. Take the boron bonus out of the system and what happens? Celery grows crooked. Carrots fork. Apple cores get corky. Table beets blacken. Peanuts develop hollow hearts. And cotton yields decrease. While these problems sound whimsical, the consequences are anything but for the farmer who cannot market the damaged crop, or indeed, for the global food supply.